Let's look at number 4 here. What is the equation in standard form of a line that passes through? We're going to rewrite some of this here. 4, -8. Sorry, it's a little blurry. And it has a slope, so it has an m of 1 over 4. So let's look at letter A. The first thing you're going to need to do is we need to put this in y equals mx plus b form, because we need to look at the number right here that's going to be in front of x whenever we do this. So let's start with letter A. X minus 4y equals 36. All right, so first thing you're going to do is move the x term to the other side. We're going to do the move divide method. So we're going to move 1x to the other side. It becomes negative 1x. The 36 is positive, so we'll just bring that down. And then bring down your negative 4y. And then our last step is to divide by the number in front of y. So we're going to divide by negative 4. We're going to divide everything by negative 4. Alrighty, let's clean this up here. So now we have y equals a negative 1 divided by a negative 4 is positive 1 over 4 x. And positive 36 divided by negative 4 is negative 9. Let's take a look at some information that we have. Let's look at this slope here. Do we have a slope of 1 over 4? Yes, we have that. Now we need to confirm whether or not this coordinate is on this graph. We'll take our calculator and we are going to put this equation, let's clear some of this out, put this equation at y equals. Alrighty, so let's get into our fraction component here. 1 over 4 x minus 9. We're going to go to the table. Let's see if this coordinate 4 comma negative 8 is in the table. 4 negative 8 is in the table. Yes, so our answer is A. Question 5. The graph of the quadratic function r is shown on the grid. What is the solution? Okay, let me learn how to speak here. What is the solution to r of x equals 0? R of x, that's the same thing as saying f of x. They're just calling it graph r. So we're going to write what we have below this information. So f of x equals y. The reason why we're going to do that is because this will tell you what we have in the problem. Right now we have the value of y. It is 0. So the question is asking, what missing part of x could we use if we go up 0? Well, up 0 means you're going to be on the x-axis. In fact, there are 2 missing parts that we can use. And I know that this is a little blurry, but they're counting by 2s. So if I go 2, 4, I could use negative 6. I could also go in the positive here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I could also use 14. So let's see if any of those are on there. And if you look, 14 is there. Our answer is C. Question 6. Which graph represents this inequality here? Well, if you go back to the move divide, we're going to kind of do this in our head here. If I were to move the negative 2x to the other side, and then my last step is going to be divide by 7, divide everything by 7. Well, when you divide by a positive, the sign stays the same. So let's look at the sign. The first thing I want to do is look at this. The sign is less than, because I can make an L out of it. See right here, an L, less than, or equal. Less than or equal means it's a solid line, so it cannot be A, it cannot be D. Less than means to shade below the graph, and it might be a little hard to see, but letter C is actually shading below the graph. So our answer is C. Now if this 7 right here would have been negative, the sign would have flipped, and it would have gone to B. But since it wasn't, our answer is C. Okay, we're looking at 8. Jeannie solved the quadratic equation shown below. So she solved this by factoring. We're actually going to use the calculator here. Which of the following shows a step in solving the equations? In fact, they're asking you which answer choice over here is equivalent. Well, equivalent, we can use stow in the calculator. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a random number for x here. So let's just take 5. We're going to take 5 and we're going to store it to x. And let's type this guy in right here. X squared plus 2x minus 8. And when I do that, when x is 5, I get an output or a value of 27. Well, I need to figure out which one of these answer choices is also going to give me an output of 27. So I'm just going to start with letter C here. I'm going to type in letter C exactly like I see it. Here's letter C. X minus 2 have x plus 4. And if you look, I get 27, so my answer is C. Now there's another way to do this as well. Anytime you're taking this star test and they give you an equation, see if you can use the y equals as well. Watch what happens here when I put this information in y equals. And then I'm also going to type in letter C. I know letter C is my answer, x minus 2 and x plus 4. I'm going to go to the table. And what do you notice about the tables? Well, I typed something in wrong here. X minus 2, x plus 4. Forgot the x right here. So obviously you're not going to notice anything. Now let's look. What do you notice about the tables? The tables are the same. In fact, if you look right here, when x is 5, see how you get an output of 27? On both of those, that means they're telling you that those two equations are the same. So when you get the same table, then you've already found the equivalent value there. All right, let's look at question 9 here. An architect designed an outdoor staircase for a house. The relationship between the height of the steps and the length of the thread is modeled by the equation below. All right, so we're going to rewrite this equation here. Maybe 57x minus 95y equals 0, equals nothing. I'm just not going to put anything on the right-hand side. All right, which of the following represents the slope? Slope. So when we're talking about slope, y equals mx plus b, we're talking about this number in front of x. So we've got to get y by itself. We're going to do the move divide method. So we're going to move 57x to the other side. It's positive on the left, it will be negative on the right. So that 57x is gone. Just pretend like that's not there anymore. So we moved. Now we need to divide. Divide everything by what's in front of y. That cancels out. So now we are left with y equals negative 57 over negative 95x. There's nothing there. If you wanted to put plus 0, that would just tell you that the graph is going to go through 0 on the y. But we're not concerned about that. We're concerned about this number in front of x. You get this nasty looking fraction, and that's okay. If you look over here, you don't see any of these fractions that match up, but we can use the calculator to reduce this. So access your fraction component here on the calculator. We're going to type in negative 57. We're going to type in negative 95. When you hit enter, it will reduce it for you, and it will automatically tell you that the slope is 3/5.